I want to do a brief video. Pardon the noise, I've got a noisy vehicle beside me, about ECMs, wiring issues on Cummins, Detroit, anything with a motor that has an ECM basically. But if you're in the trucking industry, or you work on trucks, or you're just a driver that can never find a proper mechanic to help you out, or somebody to walk over the vehicle with you, this right here is an ECM, this right here. And this wire apparently is a ground wire. It's got an inline fuse. And if you notice that when you hit bumps, or sometimes the engine will skip, you go up here to these little things right here. And let me focus my camera. These are the injector harness wire thingamajiggies. Wire plugs in. Here's your injectors. I think, I'm not a mechanic, I can't see through there, but trust me, that's what they told me. But anyway, so anyway, if you're having a problem where something cuts out on you every now and again, or when you hit a bump, everything cuts off, or maybe over on your battery wire something is fried, it's most likely a loose wire. It could be right here, but mainly if you've had work done on your starter. Let me go right here. This right here is a starter. Now that red line is actually the ground. I had to use that to get a right one on there. But loose wiring, corrosion, bouncing around down here, your frayed wire on the ground is the #1 problem that I've noticed in many years of driving a big truck. All the shaking, the bounce around, sometimes even the wind can come through and make a wire skip out on you. But it's right down here on your starter. So always check your wires. See right there where the big bolt is. The wire connects right there. Sometimes it gets frayed where that little brass, you know, where they smash it together there, where the wire comes together in that little brass coupling. It gets frayed there. Mechanics like to just shove wires out of the way. You know how they are. If you're a mechanic, you know what I'm talking about. You'll just shove a wire out of the way, put the part on, reconnect it, and not even consider you just damaged, or put another damaged part, a damaged wire back on the good part, and then to crank up. And you've got the mechanic's motto that if the truck starts and it goes in gear and leaves the garage, there's nothing wrong with it, which is just not the case. Going down the road, it's a big deal. It really is. I mean, and there's a lot of money being spent on the road because of mechanics neglecting stuff, not going thorough, or their hired help putting stuff out of the way, and you know, and when you need them, they're always swamped tearing up another truck. I say that as respectfully as I can, but a lot of times the mechanics do a lot of damage because they won't take that extra step and fix a doggone wire. So one thing, that if you're having any issues with your electronics skipping, truck cutting out, ECM, blah blah blah, reach down here while the truck is running with protective gloves, of course, and seek you know, professional advice. Reach down here and just start moving wires with your hands. Just kind of touch them and bounce them, and see if you can mimic whatever symptoms or whatever it's doing while you're out and about. Also up here, we ran a test when I couldn't start the truck. Is this, apparently I was getting power here, or ground, showing power to right here, but between here and here was an issue. So if you ever have any issues, open up your fuse and actually look in there. You'll test it, it'll show power, but sometimes it's good to actually pull it out and look in there and touch it right here. Let's see, where's my finger? Touch it right to the ground, instead of just trusting this right here alone. Many a times you'll think it's this right here. It's your fuel solenoid, little things like that, because when you turn it on, it'll click. One of the issues of a low power or a ground issue I was having is this right here was put real weak on the test light. I was just using a basic test light. This right here was real weak. It should have, you know, I think it was 12 volts. It should have been. And when I tried to fire it up, I just couldn't get fuel. Also, when I had a professional mechanic hook up their laptop to the inside pigtail by your clutch, is that they couldn't connect to the ECM. So that particular one at the time didn't think to check between here and here. We just did the basic test between here and here. Of course, your batteries are always good to check, make sure they're clean, everything's good there. But again, like I said, if you have any problems, on the road, or you're just bored one day, try to mimic whatever it's doing when it's moving. Jiggle a wire, blow air on something, whatever, while it's running. And most likely while it's running, if you touch the right wire, you'll hear the truck or the engine skip or cut out or whatever the case may be.